Welcome to the Revenge Story Times channel. Sometimes in life, the ground slips away from beneath your feet, and you realize that everything you thought you knew was a lie. That night was exactly one of those moments for me. I came home early, expecting an ordinary evening, but instead, I found a betrayal so deep that it shattered everything I held dear. What I witnessed that night wasn't just an act of infidelity, it was a trap deliberately set by the two people I trusted most. From that moment on, what was about to unfold would change all of our lives forever. Before I dive into my story, if you don't want your life to be turned upside down like mine, subscribe to my channel to learn real lessons from the real stories we share every day, just like mine. Also, share your thoughts about the shocking truths I've experienced in the comments, and please show your support by liking my video. Now that you've subscribed, let's dive into my story. The air that night was oppressive, the kind that clings to your skin and signals the approach of a storm. I pushed open the front door, eager to shed the weight of the day. Work had been hell, deadlines, meetings, that usual hustle, and all I wanted was to crack open a cold beer, stretch out on the couch, and maybe find some peace before Anna came home. But the house greeted me with an unsettling silence, no hum of the TV, no clatter of dishes, just nothing. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe she had gone out, I thought. But there was something gnawing at me, a feeling I couldn't shake. I stood in the hallway, listening for any sign of life, waiting. My breath quickened, the silence deepened, the air thickened, almost suffocating. I slowly climbed the stairs, each step echoing louder in the silence. My heart was racing, though I didn't know why. Instinct? Intuition? I'm not sure, but something was pulling me toward our bedroom. I hesitated at the door, my hand hovering over the knob. What I heard next, a muffled moan followed by the sound of bodies shifting, froze my blood. I stood there, feeling like I had been standing for hours, trying to convince myself that what I heard wasn't real. But then a louder sound, this time more distinct, confirmed everything. I cracked the door open just enough to peek inside. The scene before me was like a nightmare, surreal, yet painfully clear. There she was, Anna, in the arms of another man, tangled in the sheets we once shared. My mind went blank, disbelief giving way to a searing pain in my chest. I wanted to scream, to rage, to tear the room apart, but instead, I stood there, frozen, watching as the two people I trusted most betrayed me in the most intimate way. The man, David, my closest friend, the person I had confided in, was now the one who had taken everything from me. Silently, I backed away, my pulse pounding in my ears. How could this be happening? How long had it been going on? The questions in my mind spun, each one more painful than the last. I felt like a ghost in my own life, invisible and powerless to stop what was happening before me. I made my way back downstairs, almost soundlessly, until I sat at the kitchen table. I needed to think. I needed to breathe, but every breath felt like it was choking me, weighed down by the reality of what I had just seen. A million thoughts raced through my mind. Should I confront them now? Should I burst into the room and expose their betrayal? Or should I wait, calm down, and make a plan? My anger was turning into something colder, more dangerous. The front door creaked, and I saw Anna descending the stairs, her face flushed as if nothing had happened. When she saw me, she froze, the smile quickly fading from her face. "You're home early," she said, her voice trembling slightly. I looked at her for a long time, the words I wanted to scream caught in my throat. Finally, in a quiet, controlled voice, I said, "Yes, I wasn't expecting to find this." Her eyes widened, panic spreading across her face. "What do you mean?" she said, her voice unnaturally high, trying to play it off. "Don't play dumb, Anna," I said, slowly rising to my feet. I saw everything. The color drained from her face. She opened her mouth but couldn't find any words. We both knew she had been caught, but instead of admitting it, she did something that shattered me even more, she lied. "It's not what you think," she stammered, her hand shaking as she struggled for an excuse. "David was just helping me with something. It's really not what it looks like." I let out a bitter laugh, a hollow sound that echoed through the room. "Helping you in our bedroom?" I could see her mind racing, trying to find a way out, but there was nowhere to go. She was trapped in her own web of lies, and I was no longer the man who would fall for them. "How long, Anna?" I asked, my voice cold and steady. "How long has this been going on?" Her eyes dropped to the floor, unable to meet mine. "It's complicated," she whispered. "Complicated," I repeated the word, leaving a bitter taste in my mouth. "You're sleeping with my best friend, and you call it complicated." Just then, the door opened again, and David walked in, unaware of the tension in the air. When he saw me, he froze, his eyes darting between me and Anna. "Tom," he began, his voice shaking. "I can explain." But I cut him off. "No, you can't explain anything, not anymore." There was a long silence. I felt everything collapsing around me, the life I thought I had, the future I had imagined with Anna, falling apart in an instant. But in that moment, I felt a strange clarity. "You both disgust me," I said, my voice barely containing the rage trembling beneath it. "Did you think I wouldn't notice? The late nights out, the secretive texts, the way you've both been treating me. I should have seen this." Anna took a step toward me, her eyes filling with tears. "Tom, please," but I raised my hand, stopping her. "No, you don't get to cry. You don't get to play the victim here. You made your choice, now you have to live with it." I turned to David, the man who had been my friend through so much, and now the one who had betrayed me in the worst possible way. "And you," I said, my voice full of disgust. "You betrayed me in a way I never thought possible. I trusted you, and you took everything from me." David opened his mouth to speak, but I didn't give him the chance. "Don't even try," I said. "There's nothing you can say to fix this." I grabbed my keys from the table and headed for the door. "I hope you're happy together," I said, looking back at them one last time, "because you've both lost me." I slammed the door, the sound echoing through the empty hallway, as I stepped outside. The cold night air hit my face, and for the first time in hours, I felt like I could breathe. But that relief was short-lived. I knew this wasn't over, not yet. Weeks passed, and the silence between us became unbearable. Anna left messages on my phone, sent emails begging me to come back, but I couldn't, not after what I had seen that night. One evening, I found myself standing outside David's apartment, staring at the light spilling through the curtains. My hands shook, my fists clenched, thoughts racing about what my next move would be. Revenge was a tempting thought, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to go down that path. As I stood there, the memory of that night, their betrayal, played over and over in my mind, each time more vivid, more painful. I knew I couldn't just let it go. I couldn't let them walk away from this unscathed. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number I had been holding onto for weeks, a private investigator, the kind of guy who digs up the darkest secrets people try to hide. If Anna and David thought they could move on with their lives, they were dead wrong. What the investigator uncovered was far more than I had imagined. The affair wasn't just physical, they had been deceiving me in every aspect of my life. After gathering all the evidence of their betrayal, I had a choice to make. I could confront them, expose their lies, and walk away, but that wasn't enough. I needed revenge, and I needed it to be quiet, calculated. A week later, everything was in place. Using the evidence from the investigator, I exposed David's shady dealings at work. The morning he found out, I was waiting outside his office, watching the shock on his face. His company turned its back on him, and his colleagues lost all trust in him. As for Anna, her end was different. She kept trying to reach me, asking to meet. Eventually, one evening I came home to find her at my door, her eyes swollen, filled with desperation as she begged. "Tom, please, we can fix this. It was a mistake." I looked into her eyes, seeing the broken woman before me, but inside I felt no pity, no remorse. I approached her calmly. "Anna," I said, "things we bury don't come back. You should have thought about that before." I turned away and shut the door behind me. At that moment, I felt a true sense of freedom. My plan had worked, both David and Anna had paid for what they did, and I took a step forward into the rest of my life without them. Thank you for listening until the end. See you in the next episode of Revenge Story. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Goodbye.